Hey everybody, welcome to a journey back in time. Tonight we're diving into the wacky and wonderful world of Bitcoin. Remember Bitcoin, that weird internet money everyone was obsessed with for a hot minute? It was all over the news and everyone had an opinion. It all started back in 2008 with a mysterious figure named Satoshi Nakamoto. This enigmatic person, or perhaps a group of people, published a white paper that would change the world. No one knows who this person or group of people really is. They vanished as mysteriously as they appeared, leaving behind a revolutionary idea. They're basically the Banksy of cryptocurrency, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Anyway, Satoshi dreamed up Bitcoin as a decentralized digital currency, a currency that wasn't controlled by any government or financial institution. The idea was to cut out the middlemen, like banks and governments, and let people transact directly with each other. Imagine a world where you could send money to anyone, anywhere, without any fees or delays. It sounded pretty radical, right? A financial system that was truly for the people, by the people. No more pesky fees or pesky regulations. It was a dream come true for many who were tired of the traditional banking system. But of course, with every revolutionary idea, there are always skeptics. What could possibly go wrong? Well, in the beginning, not much happened. Bitcoin was slow to catch on and many dismissed it as a passing fad. Bitcoin was this niche thing that only tech nerds and cypherpunks really cared about. It was like a secret club for those in the know. It was like that band you liked before they got big and everyone else ruined them. A hidden gem in the vast world of technology. But then something funny happened. Bitcoin started to gain traction. More and more people began to see its potential, and it wasn't long before it went mainstream. Word started to spread about this newfangled internet money. Bitcoin, a digital currency created by an unknown person using the alias Satoshi Nakamoto, began to capture the imagination of tech enthusiasts and financial experts alike. It was a revolutionary concept, money that wasn't controlled by any government or financial institution. This decentralized nature promised a new era of financial freedom and security. People got excited about the potential of a decentralized financial system. The idea of peer-to-peer transactions without the need for a middleman was groundbreaking. It meant lower fees, faster transactions, and a level of privacy that traditional banking couldn't offer. Tech conferences buzzed with discussions about blockchain technology, the underlying framework of Bitcoin. Plus, there was this whole get-rich-quick aspect that was, shall we say, very appealing. Stories of early adopters turning modest investments into fortunes spread like wildfire. Social media was flooded with tales of newfound wealth, and everyone wanted in on the action. The fear of missing out drove more and more people to invest. Early adopters saw their Bitcoin holdings skyrocket in value. What started as a niche interest among tech-savvy individuals quickly became a global phenomenon. The value of Bitcoin surged, and those who had invested early found themselves sitting on small fortunes. The media began to take notice, and Bitcoin was no longer just a topic for tech blogs. It was making headlines worldwide. Suddenly, everyone wanted a piece of the pie. Cryptocurrency exchanges saw a massive influx of new users, all eager to buy Bitcoin. ATMs that allowed people to purchase Bitcoin with cash started popping up in major cities. Investors, both big and small, scrambled to get their hands on this digital gold. The price of Bitcoin went absolutely bonkers. It seemed like every day brought a new all-time high. Traders couldn't believe their eyes as the value of Bitcoin soared to unprecedented levels. The excitement was palpable and the market was in a frenzy. It went from being worth practically nothing to thousands of dollars per coin. The meteoric rise of Bitcoin was unlike anything the financial world had ever seen. People who had once dismissed it as a passing fad were now scrambling to understand it. The potential for massive returns was too enticing to ignore. People were buying Lambos and yachts with their Bitcoin profits. The newfound wealth allowed early investors to indulge in luxury purchases that were once out of reach. Social media was filled with images of extravagant lifestyles funded by Bitcoin gains. It was a modern-day gold rush and everyone wanted to strike it rich. It was like the dot-com bubble all over again, but with even more questionable investments. The rapid rise in Bitcoin's value led to a surge in speculative investments. New cryptocurrencies were launched almost daily, each promising to be the next big thing. The market was flooded with projects that had little to no real-world application, and the risk of a bubble was ever present. News outlets couldn't get enough of it. Bitcoin dominated headlines, and every major news network had segments dedicated to its rise. Financial analysts debated its future, and everyone from taxi drivers to celebrities had an opinion on Bitcoin. It was the talk of the town, and its influence was undeniable. Bitcoin was everywhere you looked. Advertisements for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies were plastered on billboards, buses, and even in airports. Bitcoin ATMs became a common sight, and businesses started accepting it as a form of payment. The digital currency had firmly entrenched itself in the public consciousness. This was peak Bitcoin mania, and it seemed like the good times would never end. Conferences dedicated to Bitcoin and blockchain technology were packed with enthusiastic attendees. Every price surge was met with cheers and celebrations. Social media was awash with Bitcoin memes and success stories. It felt like the sky was the limit. But as with all things that are too good to be true, the party couldn't last forever. The market's volatility eventually caught up with it. Prices began to plummet, and the once euphoric investors were left in shock. The bubble had burst, and the reality of the risks involved became painfully clear. The era of easy money was over, and the aftermath left many questioning the true value of Bitcoin. Remember that whole get-rich-quick thing? Well, it turns out that what goes up must come down, especially in the volatile world of cryptocurrency. In 2018, the Bitcoin bubble finally burst. The price crashed spectacularly, wiping out billions of dollars in value. Investors who had poured their life savings into Bitcoin were left holding the bag. It was a harsh reminder that cryptocurrencies are incredibly risky investments. But hey, at least they could use their worthless Bitcoin to buy a pizza, right? Oh, wait. Section 4. Governments enter the ring, regulations and crackdowns. As Bitcoin gained popularity, it didn't take long for governments around the world to start taking notice. And let's just say they weren't exactly thrilled about this whole decentralized currency thing. Governments like to be in control, especially when it comes to money. China, in particular, cracked down hard on Bitcoin. They banned cryptocurrency exchanges and initial coin offerings, or ICOs. Other countries introduced regulations to try and get a handle on the wild west of crypto. All of this uncertainty made investors nervous, and the price of Bitcoin continued to fluctuate wildly. Section 5. Bitcoin's dirty little secret, environmental concerns. Here's a fun fact about Bitcoin. It takes a lot of energy to create, like a lot of energy. Bitcoin mining, the process by which new Bitcoins are created, requires massive amounts of computing power. And all that computing power requires a ton of electricity. We're talking about the same amount of electricity consumed by entire countries. This led to concerns about Bitcoin's environmental impact. Critics argued that Bitcoin was contributing to climate change, not a good look for a technology that was supposed to be the future of finance. Section 6. The rise of the altcoins. Competition heats up. As Bitcoin struggled with its own problems, a new breed of cryptocurrency emerged: altcoins. These alternative cryptocurrencies promised to be faster, cheaper, and more environmentally friendly than Bitcoin. Some of them even had funny names like Dogecoin. Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple all gained traction, chipping away at Bitcoin's dominance. Suddenly, Bitcoin wasn't the only game in town. The competition was heating up, and Bitcoin was starting to feel the heat. Section 7. The fall of Bitcoin, a dramatic collapse. So what ultimately led to Bitcoin's demise? It wasn't just one thing, but a combination of several factors that created a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm of factors. The volatility, the regulations, the environmental concerns, and the increasing scrutiny from governments around the world. The competition from altcoins, it all took its toll. Investors lost faith. The market was flooded with new cryptocurrencies, each promising better returns and more stability. The price of Bitcoin plummeted. The once sky-high value of Bitcoin began to fall rapidly, causing panic among investors, and just like that, the Bitcoin bubble burst for good. The dream of Bitcoin as a stable, mainstream currency was shattered. Some people held on to their Bitcoin, hoping for a miraculous recovery. They believed that Bitcoin could bounce back just as it had done in the past. Others cut their losses and moved on. They decided it was better to accept their losses and invest in other opportunities. But one thing was clear: Bitcoin's reign as the king of cryptocurrency was over. The market had shifted, and new players were taking the lead. So, there you have it, folks. The story of Bitcoin is a cautionary tale for investors and enthusiasts alike. The rise and fall of Bitcoin. It was a journey filled with hope, excitement, and ultimately disappointment. It was a wild ride, full of ups and downs, with moments of euphoria and despair. But ultimately it taught us some valuable lessons about the nature of speculation, the importance of regulation, and the need for sustainable practices, and the unintended consequences of new technologies. The story of Bitcoin is a reminder that innovation comes with risks and rewards, and hey, at least we got some funny memes out of it, right? In the end, Bitcoin's legacy will be remembered for its highs, its lows, and the lessons it left behind.